All right. All right. Hello. This is Mark the Ballpark Hunter. Welcome to the Ballpark Hunter podcast. With me today is Biko Skalla. He is the broadcast entertainer for the Savannah Bananas, probably the hottest baseball team on the planet outside of Major League Baseball. Biko, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark, and appreciate the kind words, man.
Yeah, it's I'm on another podcast for Stadium Journey, the website that I write for and review stadiums of all sorts. And we said, hey, let's talk about Banana Ball. Let's talk about their movement to go on a Harlem Globetrotters like schedule. We had it scheduled for Tuesday night at 7, the same night you guys were announcing your draft picks. And it was like all through the show, we're like, oh, they're going here. They're going to Indianapolis. They're going to Birmingham. They're going to Scottsdale. They're going to Milwaukee. It was like the perfect timing. But my question to you is, when you took this job so many years ago, did you think this is where the objective was to go coast to coast playing independent baseball at this level?
No, Mark, to be completely honest, I had no idea. And I came at a pretty interesting time. I was at MLB NHL Network for a couple of years after college and then really wanted to get back into the broadcasting side of things. So I made the move like June of 2020. We all know what was happening then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went down to, a collegiate summer baseball team and I knew all about the antics. That's why I was going. Not to say I was cocky in one way or the other, but I felt like in general where I was in my career that a collegiate summer baseball team was below my station a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I was looking for minor league baseball.
I get it. I get it.
But then I saw what the Bananas were up to, and I was like, no, I think this is worth a summer at least of going down to see what's happening. But I didn't know Banana Ball existed. I had no idea of the aspirations of getting to bring this thing all around the country and the world after that. That's why we call it a world tour. But boy, have I been pleasantly surprised.
I tell you, and I mean, everybody I know was contacting me saying they're coming to Indy. Mark, can you get us tickets? And I said I could probably get a press pass for myself. I don't. If you need a ticket, you're gonna have to buy one. Just wait for them to go on sale. But it's just this huge demand that this team has brought up, and I have never seen it. Maybe the Durham Bulls, Toledo Mudheads have that kind of brand recognition for various reasons. But I mean, the Bananas, I see people wearing shirts where I live, right outside of Indianapolis. And this has been going on for a couple years. If just people love the logo, maybe they've been fortunate to see a game which are sold out. It's not like you could just buy a ticket the day of. You got to get these tickets. I mean, there's a waiting list right now, correct?
Oh my gosh, yes, there is there is a waiting
Yeah.
list. We just created a new one for the new tour, and it's not even a week old, and it's over six figures. So yeah, more than 100,000 people have hopped on to try and grab tickets
So
a year in advance.
wow, 100,000 people. I mean, it's almost like you're going to have to build a 25,000 seat stadium down there in
I
Savannah, which
uh, yeah, I tell you what, we love historic Grace Stadium
yes.
more than anything in the world. But it's definitely a possibility in the future to have another stadium, maybe to supplement Grayson, where you still there's never going to be a time in the universe when the Bananas aren't playing at least some of their games during a year at historic Grayson Stadium. But I wouldn't doubt that we may need to build another facility to try and house the spectacle that this has turned into.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. It's I had been down to Grayson a few times and
Cool.
but it was before you guys arrived. So
Uh,
it was BC. It was before the Bananas. And I love the stadium, but I was upset that the Sandnats were leaving. I'm like, is this a cool stadium? It's a beautiful city. It's I get it. It's maybe some things need to be fixed. And, you know,
yeah.
I remember when the banana name was created, I thought that was the most ridiculous name in the world. But then I see the logo and I'm like, oh, they killed it. That is just such a badass logo. And I think that's just part of the fun there. It's like it's a logo you want to wear. And then when you get to the games, and I haven't been to a Bananas game, but I've seen it on TV. I've seen highlights. I've seen the first Banana Ball a few years ago when you debuted it.
Yeah.
It's is it everything is advertised, or what can you tell people that have not been to a game? How does it start? Like you park. What goes on after you get out of your car? Anything?
Well, you've started it at the right step here because
Okay.
and our ticketing and marketing team would tell you that the journey begins when you purchase your tickets and you start getting our very unique and funny messaging in email and all that stuff. But the
Okay.
real important part is you get to the stadium, and most people would say, oh, like what's the show once the game starts and everything. No, 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 it's you get to the stadium. We've got some parking penguins, some folks dressed up in penguin costumes to help get you to a good place to park your vehicle. And then you get to the line, and hopefully you're there early enough that you're towards the front of the line, but it's a line that's going to stretch incredibly far
Mm.
back, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet. And then we've got some pregame entertainment. We've got a DJ out there. It's a merchandise stand. Kind of WWE concert, legitimate tour vibes out there. And then around 5:20 or 5:25, depending on how long the line is, Jesse Cole, our man in the yellow tux,
Oh yeah.
co-owner of this team with his wife Emily, um, him, the players, the cast and crew, the Banana Nanas, the Man Nanas, the dancing first base coach, the magician, Stilts, everybody's out there doing a parade and finishing with a dance party to open the gates at 5:30 for a 7 p.m. game. And then you get, I'd say maybe you get a half hour of typical stadium music and people bumping around, try and grab your concessions, this and that. Right at 6 p.m., the pregame entertainment really kicks in, and that's just nonstop jokes and fun and events up till 7 p.m. when bang, you have Banana Ball, 2 hour time limit. So that'll get you to 9. And that's, obviously the belle of the ball. That's the star of the show, is
Hmm.
the actual game that people come to watch. And then there's about a half hour dance party in the party plaza on the way out with, fans can get autographs from the players, and they're out there giving out hugs and kissing babies and the whole 9 yards. So it's truly a full event from, I'd say, about 5:20 p.m. to about 9:30 p.m.
Wow. And how early do people get out there for a game? Like when do you see the lines forming?
Of course, it differs for a weekday or a Saturday or anything like that. But in general, I'd say on a Saturday, you see people out there, a good coalition of folks starting to gather around 3 p.m. And they'll wait it out for
Wow.
nearly 3 hours to first folks in the stadium once 5:30 strikes. And Jesse begins his countdown from 11 because everything we do in Banana Land is different. Um, and I'd say on a weekday, maybe it's more like 4:30. You really start seeing the line starting to build.
Wow. And I heard like every day something new goes on.
Oh
Eh,
my, yeah. And not just something new. Every day we're
eh,
probably trying 10 to 15 new things.
Okay. And does everything work, or are there things that it feels like you guys, everything you throw to the wall seems to be sticking and coming down properly? But are there things that don't work? Like, okay, we're not doing that again. That was, can you give an example if you can remember?
There are loads and loads of things that do not work. I mean, that's part of the fun.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's live entertainment. We've got a lot of ideas, and we are setting the bar at a level where we want to, like I said, be trying 10 to 15 new things every game. So yeah, we've got duds. I'd say what comes to mind, the original horse race we ever did, which goes all the way back to 2020. We threw horse heads and horse hooves, like rubber costume type stuff, on four, I don't know, like 9 to 11-year-old kids, and had them race on all fours around the infield. But the problem, and this is why we try to test everything we do, but the problem is you couldn't see diddly do from inside the horse head.
Okay, I get it.
So a girl wandering right into the infield. I mean, it's impossible to clop around on those hooves. Like by the time, and this was a collegiate summer league game, so that's even stricter on like, hey, you've got a minute and a half for entertainment, then you got to be off the field. The other team is finished warming up, and we've got kids not even to second base, and Jesse's out there saying, "Take the horse head off and get off the field, just sprint off the field." And we actually had a lavalier mic on him for the broadcast, so you couldn't hear it in the stadium, but everyone watching online heard him yelling at kids, which was awesome. So yeah, that was a disaster. A more recent disaster, I would say, was a peanut butter licking dog race where we had like a couple big things of plexiglass, and dogs were licking the peanut butter, and if they were licking, the owner was allowed to walk backwards with it, and if they stopped licking, the owner had to stop. But we had the owners facing the majority of the crowd and the dogs behind it, so you couldn't really see the dogs licking. We actually ended up revamping it and putting basically skateboard helmets on owners, and then peanut butter on the helmets, so the owner had to crawl on all fours. And then we switched it up. We gave it a 90-degree turn. Most of these ideas have something worthwhile inside them, and sometimes you have to fail in front of a live audience, both in stadium and in the online world, before you figure out what needs to be changed.
Yeah, no, I get it. And who comes up with these ideas? Is it anybody that is with the staff just says, "Hey, let's do this. How does that work?" Or is there a precise time where meetings take place and these ideas
Yeah,
are
so it's
developed?
a great question. So in general, I'd say anybody in the entire organization, whether it's tickets, food and beverage operations, entertainment marketing, we've all contributed ideas that have been great and that have been terrible. But the core of it probably comes from Zach Frangelo and Jesse Cole. They're the true entertainment minds. That's what they come to the office every day and kind of geared in for. So they have the majority of ideas, and then I would say the rest of the entertainment and marketing team, which is where I come in. We do a lot of idea paloozas with them and help them, try and perfect the show. And then from there, it kind of filters out to your ticket team and ops and finance and whatever, who maybe they are actually at a meeting, or maybe they just stumble by, or maybe they have an idea and they text one of us and we bring it up at the meeting for them. But no, it takes an army, and that's part of what I think has made the team so successful. Is no idea is a bad one. Well, that's not true. We'll tear ideas apart, but every idea is worth
Yeah.
listening to, at least to begin with.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I get it. And like right now, are you back in Saugerties or are you still in Savannah?
Yeah, I'm back up in Saugerties, currently in Poughkeepsie, New York, where I've
Okay.
dropped my mom off.
I know Poughkeepsie. I grew up just south of you in New Jersey, so I
Sure.
know a little bit about Poughkeepsie. And you're a Syracuse alumni, correct?
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the team I root for in the tournaments every year. Kind of go Q's, and that's the Big East or former Big East teams that I root for. So Syracuse is there, and I noticed when we first talked, and we're getting a little bit off banana ball, but we'll get back. We got some
Yeah,
time. You worked for a radio station called Z89.5,
spot on.
which was a college station. That station, I can tell you that's been going on for almost 30 years, probably more. When I was a kid, my family and I took a lot of trips to Toronto, go to Niagara Falls from New Jersey. So we would always hit Syracuse. And I remember, and I don't know why I remember this. The first time I heard the song Juicy by Notorious B.I.G. was
Uh-huh.
on Z89.5. So everything,
That's
every time I think of Notorious B.I.G. and Juicy, I think of Syracuse Z89.5. Because at that time I would record these radio sweepers on I had like a Walkman with a cassette, and I was recording things, and for some reason I recorded that, and that just is stuck in my head listening to Juicy on that college radio station. So that was really cool and as soon as you said Syracuse Z89, I'm like, oh yeah, Notorious B.I.G.
yeah, that's
We're getting a little technical difficulty right here, so please bear with us. I don't know if Biko can hear us. He's frozen right now, as you can see. He's like, hey, I'm not frozen. All right. I don't know. I hope that's uh All right. Well, hopefully Biko will come with us in a few moments. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you. I guess we could do a cigarette commercial, right? True cigarettes. Should we do that? Should we do the True cigarette commercial? All right. True cigarettes. Ain't it the truth if you like True? Coming up.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Sorry.
there you are. Yeah, it happens. Not the first, not the last.
Went to the land of shadows there for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
that's happened a few times. The last time that happened, I was with there's a Anna from the baseball Bucketheads, and I lost her, and then to fill my gap into the podcast, I threw in an old cigarette commercial from the early 70s with this really goofy jingle. So I may just do that again. Everybody
I
gets
love
it
it.
kicked. Yeah. Get a
I
kick.
love
Yes. Yeah, let's bring back this cigarette commercial. No, I don't. not,
it.
not a good idea. There's a reason. So yeah, Z89. So you worked there during college. Were you an on-air personality? Were you playing rap music? How's that station looking these days?
Yeah, man, it's top 40 radio.
Okay, cool. CHR.
Yeah, man. So a lot of Ed Sheeran and One Direction and Coldplay and all that stuff. There's some good stuff to listen to, but that is where I got my first ever on air experience outside of just doing like a project for a class was Z89. And then I got into WAER a lot more towards the end of my Syracuse tenure, the local NPR station. But no, Z is truly where I cut my teeth, man. It's a really cool college radio station, and I learned a lot at Z89.
Oh no, that's the key there. When I went to Indiana State University, I was on their radio station, WISU, and I wanted to be on the air, but I was doing sports recaps and I was broadcasting women's basketball game. And for whatever reason, I never really got into that. I wanted to be on air doing, top 40 radio. I don't know. When I was in college, I look back, I had some crazy ideas. I said, well, why not stick to broadcasting? Maybe I could have been broadcasting for a baseball team, because one of the guys I went to wind up broadcasting for the Blue Jays. He's their FM radio guy up there in Toronto. So it's it happens. I mean, it's Ben Wagner. I went to school with him. I didn't really know him that well.
Yeah.
But a couple other people do, but he got to call a no-hitter. He's broadcasted for the Blue Jays on the air. So it can happen. I mean, broadcasting, everybody needs a broadcaster. It's a job that some teams, like the St. Paul Saints, if you're broadcasting the games, you're also doing PR work. What about you? You're doing more than broadcasting games. So what else do you contribute to the Bananas?
Well, yeah, it's so funny you told that story too, because when I'm at Z89 doing top 40 radio, I wanted to be doing sports and
Yes.
sports. So I would have 2 minutes or so every hour where I could just talk about anything in the world, and basically you're just supposed to be funny, entertain the people. And I would say 98% of those 2-minute hits I did, and I did a couple hundred at my time at Z89, were all about sports. I would just turn it into a sports segment, like sports
Nice.
talk radio. So I was turning top 40 into sports talk, and we're doing sports talk, want to do top 40.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm looking at where I am now, and I'm like, why didn't I just gravitate to sports? Like, okay, you have to cover Indiana State football or Indiana State basketball, but it's sports. I mean, this could have led you to great opportunities, Mark. If I could just go back in time and knock some sense into me. But I guess I was all worried about partying and hanging out with my friends and, just, yeah, different life, different era. So I'm not bitter or anything. I like what I do now, but I just, that doesn't make sense. Like, it's one of those things, like, why wasn't I thinking the opposite? I had it right there in front of me, and I was probably like annoying my advisors, like, okay, dude, like, why don't you want to do the basketball game? And what's the matter with you? Okay. So yeah. And here you are doing the opposite up in Syracuse. So I get it. So yeah, Ben Wagner, if you're listening, good luck with, well, the Blue Jays are gone. They're done. They're done. They gave up that 7-run lead the other day, and
Yeah, what an
Oh,
abrupt end.
I don't know what's worse. I'm a Mets fan, so
Uh, uh,
I didn't want to talk to anybody today. So I don't know what's worse, like blowing a run lead or getting one hit in the decisive game. I don't know. I wish I don't know what's worse. It's like, shoot, the season's
turn,
over. And like Met
yeah,
fans are our own worst enemies. Like we just and I get it. Like I remember 1986. I was a young kid, but I remember that feeling. It was awesome. But there's tons of people who don't, so they don't know what that's like. So they're just ticked off that the Mets won 101 games and they lost the division. And Billy Epler didn't make moves at the deadline, and they didn't call up Alvarez until the Atlanta Braves series, and then they didn't get swept by the Cubs. Like everything they're upset about, even though the team won 101 games. You made the playoffs. You weren't sub 500 team, but everybody's just so mad. If we just did this, we would have won the division. Well, who knows what you would have done in the division round? You would have got one hit by the Phillies, and yeah, yeah. That's all that's going on last night. And I'm a Jets fan too, so the Jets won, and I'm
yeah,
like,
big.
great. The Jets won 2 in a row for the first time in eons, and now the Mets have to get one hit and get bounced from the playoffs. So thank you,
Oh,
Jets. You screwed
yeah.
everything up.
Well, our football fortunes are, we're 5 games into the season, but they're taking a little turn here. Jets
Yeah,
are
I
three and
mean,
two. Giants are 4-1.
4-1.
Bills are
Zach,
4-1, obviously.
yeah, Zach Wilson looks great, and Danny Jones looks great, and like I was talking to I have friends who are Jets and Mets fans, and others who are Giants and Met fans. So I was hearing it from all sorts of angles last night as I was drinking my sorrows away. It's like, oh God, you got
That was
one hit. Where
that's
are
a
the
tough one.
Lindor? Where are you? Alonzo, where are you? Darren Ruff, get the hell out of town. We hate you. So probably wind up with the Bananas in a few years after his career's over. It'll probably be a pretty good addition, but
Oh yeah, we'll take them.
yeah,
We'd love to.
yeah. So I hear you. So like I was saying originally, besides broadcasting, I know you guys do a heck of a lot more. What else do you do with the Bananas? Tell the audience. It's like, hey, I just don't go on the radio or the internet. This is what else I do.
Yeah, sure. So, I do a lot of writing, especially in the off season, what we call the slow season because we're never off, quote unquote.
Oh, of course
But
not.
yeah, a lot of writing. Yeah, stories about players and retelling legendary Bananas moments, as well as I do a lot of the press releases and a little more of the PR aspect with the team. And then anytime like I'll do weekly recaps and game recaps once in a while if I've got the time for it, and goofy projects like they had me do a 100 city United States mock draft before we did our actual draft
Oh,
to
okay.
to debut the schedule. So yeah, a lot of nonsense like that, and then I fool around. I do some video and audio work for the team, and a lot of broadcast equipment planning and kind of macro, big picture stuff like that. But yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, when you work for Summer Collegiate, well, you guys are not Summer Collegiate. What would you consider yourself now? Are you a professional baseball team or an
Yeah,
independent
that's
team?
that's what we're calling ourselves, a professional baseball team. And it was a summer collegiate team for 7 years. And now we're entering into our third year of also being a professional baseball team. But now instead of it was so confusing telling people, well, during the summer we're playing
Yeah,
collegiate woodbat, and in the spring and sometimes in the fall too. Well, then we play our invented sport of banana ball. Things get very confusing for fans and media members alike. So yeah, now we're just a professional baseball team, which is we're actually playing banana ball, but it's baseball with a couple tweaks.
yeah. So there's no games. You'll just say, hey, we're going to play regular rules. It's all banana ball.
We're all in on banana ball, Mark.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, just want to let people know because I would explain to people that yeah, they have a summer collegiate team, but then they play banana ball, and it felt like I had explained this for like 5-10 minutes. They really didn't get it. And the thing is, you guys won the championship this year in the Coastal Plain League. So if you want to see some really some good baseball, you had that opportunity, but like, you know, when did Jesse realize, hey, we may have to go rogue and take this on the road? Was
Yeah,
that
it was the 2021 summer that we
okay?
truly understood kind of what was happening to the team. And it's just a matter of, the family, the company that owns the Bananas, quote unquote, is Fans First Entertainment. That's Jesse and Emily's company. And so everything we do is to put the fans first and entertain always. And we were getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people who were traveling from all corners of the country and the world, coming to Savannah and expecting Banana Ball and getting a summer collegiate baseball game. And disappointing fans
Mhm.
is the worst thing you could possibly do when at all when you're in the business, but also when treating the fans as great as possible is your bottom line. So yeah, I know the whispers started going on last summer, like, oh gosh, no matter how often we put it on the website, you put it on the tickets, you put it everywhere, like people are still going to be confused by this because it's confusing in general when you
Yeah.
have two teams that are playing, one's professional and one's collegiate, one's playing baseball and one's playing banana ball. So that's when the rumbling started. And then, this past spring, everything went so absolutely bonkers with, our second quote unquote world tour. And the media and social media and everything just went through the roof at a pace that even we didn't expect. And then during the summer, the same thing was happening, just tenfold now. And it wasn't just that so many people were coming to Savannah, because if people come to Savannah expecting a banana ball game and get baseball, they still leave incredibly happy 99.9% of the time because it's still our show and it's still a blast. But now we were getting all these teams, or all these players rather, or fans, finally found it, going to our road games when we don't control the show and it's
Yes.
truly just an old-fashioned baseball game. And now we have thousands and thousands of these fans going to, Asheboro, North Carolina, and Lexington County, South Carolina, and
Macon.
Forest City and Macon. Yeah. And they're really unhappy. And some of them understand, it's like, whoops, like how could I have, it's whoopsies. But and we did so many things. We took away games off of our summer schedule on the website, which was another problem in itself. But just trying to minimize the damage of having these two teams to people's lives who
Mhm.
plan a whole vacation and travel across the country and then see a collegiate summer baseball game without the show. So anyway, it's a long-winded answer, but yeah, summer of 2021 is when we started realizing, like, oh no, we want to be able to pull this off, having these two teams, but logistically, I think it's just going to hurt so many people to try and do that.
No, so yeah, that's amazing. People going to see a Blowfish game up in Lexington County saying, okay, where's Banana Ball? And I'm sure Lexington County
I
folks are
know.
thinking, we have no, that's a regular team. This isn't Savannah. So
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure they might have been getting a little frustrated as well with that. But I haven't even thought about that. I mean, how many fans do you think would come out to games in Macon? Would you get a nice crowd that would wear yellow and support the team?
Yeah, it depends. Once again, it depends on the day, Wednesday night versus Friday
Okay.
or
Yeah.
Saturday. I would say in general, you go to Macon, and the vast majority of fans are going to be Bacon fans. They've got a good little fan base.
Yeah.
But there will always be a strong Bananas contingent that could get to like a good, maybe 5 to 20% of the crowd rooting on the Nanners.
Yeah. And I've actually been to a Macon Bacon game, surprisingly. Their first game a few years ago. You could check out that video right here in the upper screen. It's yeah, it was a lot of fun there. And I think those guys were really sort of designing their antics after with the logo and having a funny name and all that. So it's I have a feeling we see a lot of teams coming up with food and fruit names now. And one thing that I've noticed a lot, and this is not just at baseball games, I saw this at a Purdue football game a few weeks ago. Whenever it's your first game, they do that Lion King stunt that you guys do. Were you the guy? Were you the first team to do that, or was that based on somebody else's idea?
No, you stumped me there, Mark. I
Okay.
am not. I mean, we're definitely the first team to dress a toddler or a baby up in a banana costume and
Yes.
present them they are Simba to the Pride in Disney's Lion King. But yeah, no, I mean, I think I kind of want to lean on the side of I think people were presenting babies to the
Okay.
world in other aspects for that, and we said, oh, that'd be a great pregame ritual to throw in on our end. But
Okay.
I don't have the full
Okay.
back end story. That's a Jesse.
Okay. All right, I'll let Well, yeah, Jesse. Jesse used to respond to me. Now he's a busy guy. It's like, hey, Jesse, you want to come on a podcast? Oh, I'll send it down to one of my assistants. Him and Jared. It's like they're getting big time, and I say that with Jess, but that's one thing I liked about the Bananas. Like a few years ago, when I remember the first time the team played Banana Ball. I mean, Jared gave me a call back and we talked for about a good 10, 15 minutes. And he got me to buy the Facebook subscription to watch the game that night. So that was at a time where we were just hungry for any kind of baseball. And but yeah, that's one thing. You guys are always like very personable. You're like that small little radio station, and now it's like you guys are growing up and becoming big. And definitely part of that is this 32 city tour that you guys are taking on. Are you going to all 32 cities, or are you going to be with the team for everything?
I should be at all
Nice.
32. I've got like an opportunity here or there that may take me away from a weekend, and there might be a wedding or this or
Okay.
that. But I'll be at the vast majority of them.
So you'll be in Indianapolis, Rancho Cucamonga, Cooperstown, Milwaukee, Sugarland, Scottsdale, Arizona. These are all some of the cities are going to this year. And I'm sure people are looking for tickets. I know Indianapolis, they haven't put the tickets on sale yet. They have to go through season ticket holders and then some other people. I've already contacted Shane up there in the Indians PR department. So he said get back to him in April. So he'll see what he could do. But yeah, that'd be great to have you up here in Indianapolis. I was a little bit shocked to see you guys coming up here. I mean, there's so many cities out there you could have chosen. And you guys are picking Indy. Victory Fields can have about 15,000 people. And I guarantee you those tickets will sell out very quickly because people know about you guys up here. So uh, what's your take? What cities are you looking forward to? What stadiums are you looking forward to go to?
Oh gosh, it's like choosing between my kids that don't exist.
Yes.
Gosh, well, I will say this, and to address just like the surprise of we're coming to Indianapolis. That's a testament to the people at the Indianapolis Indians and the folks in the Indianapolis tourism department, because that's where
Okay.
it all comes down.
Okay.
Is
I didn't know that.
these cities and these teams, whoever's running these stadiums, whoever was the most bought in to our vision and putting on the best show and experience for the fans, that it was the most important thing. So it we're not saying anything bad about any cities we're not going to. We're and it's not like, oh my gosh, we would never go there. It's like it just the demand maybe wasn't there from the other side compared to these other 32 cities. So anyway, and obviously there's a monetary aspect to it, and also we can hit this area. Like Indianapolis is a phenomenal city and can pull in from such a great area there. So there's other factors in the background, but number one, it's do the people want us there?
Yes.
And the folks at the Indians and Indianapolis did a heck of a job of making it a no-brainer. Like, oh, these people get what we're doing, so we're going to work with them. So that's number one. Why we end up at all these places is because of the people who own the stadiums and run the cities. As far as what I'm going to be most excited for, I mean, Sacramento is going to be our largest stadium. It's right around there with Victory on the 14 to 15,000 person scale. That's super exciting. Cooperstown going to a Doubleday Field,
Field,
right,
yeah.
a couple blocks away from the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that'll do. I'm rather excited about that. And then 2 days before that, we're in Syracuse, New York, the Salt City, baby, Crossroads, New York, and NBT Bank Stadium, another really good arena to play at. So that's gonna be a blast. And then yeah, man, dipping our toes into Texas, right in the Houston area at Sugarland, getting up to places like Des Moines, Iowa, and Oklahoma City, and Tulsa, and Milwaukee, as you mentioned. I mean, there's just so many. I'm through the roof. I cannot
Yeah,
possibly
it's
explain words how excited I am about this tour to be up in Portland, Maine, and down and as west as Rancho Cucamonga. I mean, like, just as far reaching. I'm so excited for every city and every stadium. Like, I truly, it's gonna break my heart if any circumstances make it
Mother
so that I
Nature.
can't get to to one of these stops, because
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see the country and get to experience all these incredible stadiums.
Yeah. Or now, are we going to see a parade at all these games? Are we going to want fans to come out a couple hours early, and maybe Jesse leads a procession from the monument that's in the center of Indianapolis all the way to the ballpark? Are we going to see something like that?
That's a great idea. I mean, I can promise that there will be a quote unquote parade of the characters and players and everybody, 10 to 5 minutes before the gates open. But yeah, let's push that thing back and actually explore some downtowns. I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, you're not too far from the monument circle. It's for the it's the centerpiece of Indianapolis. It's on Meridian Street. It's not too far. Obviously, Victory Field is near the zoo and the White River Parkway. I'm sorry, museums, the canals, the White River Amphitheater. You can obviously
Mm,
start a parade from there. We have a very small parking lot compared to Savannah's. It's very small. And if you sometimes when I get there late for a game, I can't find a spot and I have to like make up my own parking spot. I know
right.
they're not going to tow it, but I remember Savannah's being a little bit nicer. But yeah, Victory Field's got that amazing lawn seating that just packs folks in. And
Mm.
yeah, I'm hoping for nice weather that day and just some great fun baseball and everybody goes home happy. And I'm sure leading up to that day, we'll see banana ball information on the news. We'll have Jesse probably make the rounds on local media, maybe yourself as well. And yeah, I just think it's going to be like, hey, the Bananas are coming into town, and let's just talk about it, because I think it's May. Was it July 30th or June 30th? I don't know, if you probably don't know off the top of your
Oh,
head, because I think it's
gosh.
after the 500. It's a month after. Yeah, it's June 30th, I believe. It's the month of May belongs to racing here, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's her bread and butter. And the
That's
500 is quite the event as well. So
yeah, understandable. Yeah, June 30th will be in
June
Indianapolis.
30th. So yeah, June 30th. So I'm hoping to see you guys either buying a ticket or getting a pass, covering it for the website, maybe making a video for my YouTube page. That would be incredible. Because I always tell people like what are some of the places you like to go to, and I like to see a game at Frisco at Dr. Pepper Park, which I had a chance this past year, but I just couldn't fit it in. It would have been a very crazy stretch. I would have had to work out a few things with my cousin and her mom's car, and somebody would have had to pick me up from a undisclosed location. So yeah, it wasn't going to work out. So, and I always tell people after that, I said, love to go see a Savannah Bananas game. What, you kidding me? I would love to go to Grayson, but now that you guys are bringing it to Indianapolis, and here's the thing. Let's say I want to go to Milwaukee to see a game. I could just hop in my car and drive the 4 hours and check you guys out there, because I think that's the next closest spot. Nashville's about a 5 hour drive for me. So
Yep. Yep.
there's options, and like that's what you say. To me, Savannah, I think is about a 14-hour drive. No, about a 12-hour drive from where I am. A couple hour flight. A little bit inconvenient to get to compared
Yeah.
to just driving downtown or driving 4 hours to Milwaukee. So it's nice that you're bringing the show here, Indianapolis. You're going to pull folks from Louisville, Cincinnati, Fort Wayne, Chicago. There's a lot of people nearby. Dayton, Ohio. So some of those Dayton Dragon fans may want to come out here. We're only a couple hours away from them. Detroit is 3 hours. I'm sorry. Toledo is 3 hours. Detroit is about 4. So yeah, you're right. Since Indianapolis is in that little market where you're not far from places, you can make these things happen. So, but I do know if you get a ticket for one of these games, it's not all you can eat like it is at Savannah, correct? So
Yep.
just
Yeah.
let people know that you're gonna have to buy your
Yeah.
food there along with the ticket.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that folks are gonna have to actually pay for the food. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of those things that that's part of how the business actually works of us doing these tours is
Yes.
that's and it's not us at all. the food and bev is always, on the folks who run the stadium or the team or whatever. But it's a little something for those that we're coming to, that, hey, you get to run all your food and bev. It's not like we're coming in here and making you give it all away for free.
No, exactly. And when we go to a Savannah Bananas game in Savannah at Grayson, what food is included? Is it hot dogs, hamburgers? Is it the basics, or are there some crazy ideas out there, crazy food items?
Yeah, so you're spot on. Hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, your veggie burgers, and then popcorn, chips, any soda, cookies. That's pretty much everything that goes under the free umbrella.
Okay.
And then everything else is incredibly affordable. Like, you want fries, it's like $1.
Oh, really? How about a beer? How about your
yeah,
Savannah Banana beer? How much does that run for?
Banana beer is somewhere between, I'm gonna say, $5 to $7 a can.
Okay.
And solid can.
20 ounce.
Yeah, I think in general, beers like, $6, I think. You're not gonna get a mixed drink more than $10. Your slippery banana or your banana blackout, which everyone's only allowed to have one of every game, you get marked. And if you come back and try and get another blackout, you will be denied.
What is a banana blackout? I want to know now.
Well, the recipe is under, but it's very strong.
I mean, is this a cocktail, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The banana blackout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had drinks like that where you're only allowed. There was a Belgian brewery. They had something called Triple D Ripple, and you're only allowed to get 2. But they never realized that they had 1 bar upstairs and 1 bar downstairs. So we would sneak downstairs and try to get 4. Big mistake if you could pull that off. You're like, you don't know where you black out. You don't know, you wind up somewhere you don't even know how you got there. You're wondering where your cars are. You're wondering where your clothes are. You're wondering where your you wondering where your night went. You're like, what day is it? Yeah, that I did that one time. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Oh my goodness. Don't tell the wife. Don't tell the wife. Yeah, she doesn't listen to my podcast anyway. She said she does, but we know you don't.
Yeah,
no matter how many times no matter how many times I share, and I get it, she's not a huge baseball fan, but I have to tell you something with Banana Ball. I think she would love this, because it's not watching baseball. It's out there being entertained. Like, we went to a Fort Wayne Tin Caps game, and it was Saturday Night Live night. And we're big SNL fans from, we've been watching it for years. And she loved that. She loved all the in-game promotions and the music and in the uniforms. So I could see taking her to Banana Ball. She would be quite happy, especially, if you get her a couple drinks, and if it's a nice night, and, maybe a couple girlfriends there with, as long as I sit there next to her. Because when I go to baseball games, I walk around a lot, take pictures and videos, talk to people. And that's what everybody says about me. Mark, you never sit still. You're always moving around. So I would like to test that at a Banana Ball game. If I can just sit there and get entertained. And I would say, okay, you did something. You got me to watch a game. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Now, it's the party animals are always going to be your opponent, correct? Or are we going to see some surprise teams?
Yeah, not always. They should be in Indianapolis. I'd say probably 80% of the time, maybe 75 to 80% of the time, we're playing the party animals.
Nice.
And then the other quarter or fifth of the time, we're playing another professional baseball team, whether it's minor league, indie, pro, international. We've got a handful of teams coming to Savannah, and we're going to a few locations to play their home team, like Charleston, West Virginia, the Dirty Birds, Staten Island, the Prairie Hawks. Yeah.
Okay.
Trenton Thunder.
So you're going to be playing the Trenton Thunder when you're up in Trenton.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And we're playing Banana Ball. So it's really cool. We'll play Kansas City Monarchs. That's the only team we've tested out with.
Yes, I knew that.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what about the Disco Turkeys? Are you going to play those guys? I know they're independent as well, and I'm not quite sure what their plans are.
I cannot comment
Okay.
There's a chance that will happen. We like what the disco turkeys are doing out in the world. They've got a good vibe, and great social media. So yeah, there's a chance.
Yeah, Carolina Disco Turkeys. You can listen to their podcast as well. I talked to them about a year ago. Yeah, and they're sort of independent. And the only other team I know of, summer collegiate team that decided to leave their league was the Alaska Gold Panners.
Huh?
They're not affiliated with the Alaskan Baseball League. They're their own entity. They do whatever they want.
Wow.
Now, I was surprised you guys aren't playing the Midnight Sun game against them this year. I was I was expecting that, but I'm sure Jesse has that planned for a few years from now, to get up there to Alaska. Because I mean, I think that'd be a nice little thing to see as well. But in regards to the world tour, when do you guys take this across the pond to another continent? When are we going to see you in Europe, Asia, New Zealand, Australia? Is that on? Is it that has to be part of the plan for the
It's
maybe
part
next 5 years?
the world domination plan. Yeah, it's on the docket. It's on the
Okay.
agenda. I'd say in the next 3 years, you will see us across the pond, and probably before that, you'll see us in Canada and or Mexico.
Yeah,
Um,
obviously first
yeah,
those
but
places.
we're definitely going to spread out. We want to take care of as many of our fans as we can here in the United States, and continue to put on a show all over the U.S. And then we can start matriculating ourselves
Yeah.
around the globe a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean that's when I heard about this, and here's the thing: this is not a new idea.
No.
The Indianapolis Clowns were doing this. That was
Yep.
an old Negro League team.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron's first club that he played for professionally. The House of David was doing this in the 20s.
Yep.
Albert Spalding, baseball magnate, I think took baseball out to Egypt, to Cairo, to play a game. Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig used to tour. A lot of old Negro League clubs used to tour, and they would play like maybe 2 games, 3 games a day at times. So it's not a new idea. And of course, you guys get compared a lot to the Harlem Globetrotters.
Right.
Has anybody from that organization ever reached out to you just to talk or give you ideas, or to say, hey, good luck, guys, with the baseball?
Not
Nothing.
that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's happened and I just didn't get wind of it. But yeah, and the comparisons are great. Obviously, the Globetrotters are legendary, and at one
Yes.
point were even being played before NBA games, because
Yeah,
that's
they
the
were
only
the marquee. That was the marquee
right.
attraction.
Yeah, but I think the major difference obviously is that the games aren't fixed in any way at all. It's whatever happens between the
Yes.
lines. Both teams really truly want to win. And
So
and
the party animals can beat you at times.
oh my gosh, yeah,
They have.
they have. So they won 2 out of 4 games the first time we did this. And they won 4 out of 12 this past spring. And then it was incredibly unfortunate, but they lost all 6 in the summer series on the ESPN networks this past summer. And they blew a couple, they could have easily won 3, they could have won 4. And it's one of those things. It's like party animal's gonna party animal. They walks, and the same thing that always crushes you in baseball: walks, errors, missed opportunities on offense. But yeah, no, in general, I would say our sweet spot is the party animals win 40% of the time. Honestly, people want to see the Bananas win, but
That's not
you look
guaranteed.
at W or any other successful sports entity that also has like the show surrounding it. The heel has to win. You know what I mean? Where people aren't coming to watch the Bananas trounce the party animals. They want to see a great ball game, as well as all the entertainment and shenanigans and the circus that surrounds it.
The shenanigans. That's exactly how I would definitely call that. So great. And I guess my final question here is, could another organization pull off what you guys are doing? Because it just seems like the Bananas are such an anomaly. Like, and I'm sure there's a lot, like, I know there's a couple teams that say, hey, we want to be like the Savannah Bananas, but just how hard has it been to get to this point? How much blood, sweat, and tears did this organization have to go through?
Yeah, it's possible, Mark, and nothing is impossible, but so many things have fallen in place here and are perfect, and are so tough to replicate. I don't think it's a bad business venture at all, because it's proven that it works, and people love it, and there's a huge demand for it. But it all starts with Jesse and Emily Cole. They are insanely incredible leaders, and have put their entire life into this. Into the story of the Bananas is them having to sell their home and
That's
go
right.
7 figures in debt back in 2016. And then now look at it was all worth it in the end. But it takes an immense amount of work and buy-in and a culture. There's just so much. The Savannah market was so hungry for a great baseball show. There's a lot that goes into it, and having the right people is probably the most important part of it all. But yeah, it's possible. You just got to do everything right. You got to care more than anything else in the world. That's what Jesse Cole does. Is he cares about the Savannah Bananas more than maybe anything I've seen anyone care about in their entire lives.
Yeah.
And just he eats, sleeps, breathes bananas, whether it's doing interviews all day or reading book after book after book about all these successful entertainment and business ideas of the past. I mean, he has got the master plan. Everything we do is strategic to a point. And even down to, you talked about it earlier, the logo. Like, early on, they have no money. Their bank account's empty. No, let's scrounge it somewhere between, like, it was like $4,000 and $10,000 for this logo, the original
Wow.
Bananas logo.
How about that?
And it's
4
like
to 10
when you
grand.
have no somewhere in there,
Yeah.
and Jesse knows the act, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, we have nothing. We can't spend $4,000 to $10,000 on a drawing. And Jesse, who has the vision the entire time, he's like, no. This is long term. This logo will be worth that in the end. And obviously it's paid its dividends tenfold over. But yeah, man, it's all the little things and just having the perfect little chemistry to create an experiment that can blow up like this.
Yeah, and my goodness, it has worked out. I don't think Jesse even thought this would be the future. I think he would have been happy just getting huge crowds to the Coastal Plain League team, and then now he is on world domination. So yeah, it's amazing. I just never thought that'd be the case either, because I mean, the name was picked by a fan vote, and somebody said, yeah, it's Savannah Bananas, it sounds funny. That's how it was picked. There's no tie to the banana industry in Savannah. You could have called it the Savannah Ghost Tours, or I guess there's a team called the Ghost Pirates now in the ECHL, which that's an amazing logo too. So Savannah's home with some two really awesome logos. So yeah, if I get out to the game, I'll definitely try to pick up a hat. Maybe I'll order one online. Free shipping and delivery. I like that. Sometimes you order a hat and it's $20 or $30 and the shipping's about 15. And you're like, what? 15 for the hat? I'm getting it shipped from 5 states over. Damn. So I get it there. All right. So Biko, when do you report back to Savannah, and what are your plans in the meantime?
So I bought back and forth. I was down there last week for our whole schedule release show and everything. I'll probably be down there 2 or 3 more times up until I go down there for good in probably first week of February, I would wager. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what do you plan? What are your plans now in New York? Just check out some Syracuse games, or enjoy time with the family? Are you working anywhere? I mean, what's life like for you in the off season?
99% of my work is still with the Bananas, just helping them out with stuff virtually. My girlfriend and I have an apartment in Soho in Manhattan, so we're there the time.
Soho.
Yeah, I know. Well, she just graduated law school, so
nice. It's funny. I have kids that I teach. This is not my main gig, and I have kids that say they want to move to New York or Chicago, and I said, how much an apartment is in those cities, and here I'm talking about we're living in Soho, so yeah, I guess it's possible. Nice. Yeah, New York City.
Well, and it was a COVID deal to get in there in the first place, or else we would have never sniffed it. But
lucky you. Okay.
And have 2 roommates to go with it.
Okay.
A good friend boyfriend. There's a lot of ways you gotta
Yeah.
massage your
Well,
situation to end up in such a place. But
yeah, they always say everybody should live in New York City for 1 year in their life. So your best, yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
oh,
you'll have
it's magic.
stories. You'll have
I love it.
stories to tell the grandkids one day, or the kids.
Love it so much. Yep, yep. And then all of my family's 2 hours north up in the Saugerties area. So, I get to visit the grandparents and my mom and dad on the farm and all over the place. So get
Cool.
to spend some family time, put some farm work in, help my mom clean up her place. There's all kinds of tasks to be done in my time up
Yeah.
here in the Northeast.
And does your mom brag to her friends that her son is the entertainer director or broadcast entertainer for the Bananas?
Oh yeah. Yep.
She
My
has
dad
to. She
and my
has
dad
to.
all the time. They're incredible. I love them to the end of the earth and back. They are my best PR team. They're the best PR team you could have.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, this was a one heck of a good time with you, Biko. I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me and giving me some more information about Banana Ball. Where can we find you and where can we find the Savannah Bananas if we even have to ask people where to find the Savannah Bananas?
Sure, if you haven't found us by now, the Sav Bananas on Instagram, Twitter, I believe TikTok as well, which is
All right, a little more technical difficulties here. We had like I could have just ended that show right now, but hold on, we have some technical difficulties with Biko, and Biko's interviewing us. I'm interviewing him in his car, so I don't know if he's on home Wi-Fi. I don't know if he can hear me right now. So, should we go to another sponsor break? Should we go to Pac-Man cereal? All right, Pac-Man cereal coming up. All right, Biko is back with us, and we're back from our second commercial break. I'm glad they're paid. I'm glad I'm getting paid big time for defunct and old products. So, all right, Biko, you're talking about TikTok. You're on TikTok. The Sav Bananas,
Yeah,
THESA bananas.
yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, my phone decided it was too hot to handle, and it said you need to take a break. So I had to
Really?
crank the AC in my car and douse this thing off.
It's
Yeah.
October. Where are you in New York that it's so hot? I mean, give me. All right, so
This
fine.
Poughkeepsie sun, it doesn't lie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So where can we find you? I guess you didn't tell us that. And if we want to
Yeah.
find
So
you.
these Saf bananas everywhere, right? And then Biko Rico Suave. It's BIKO That's the old Twitter handle and Instagram, which I'll post on once every 3 or 4 years. And Biko Skalla on Facebook if you want a couple messages there as well.
All right. Yeah. Biko Rico Suave. So there's people my age and a little bit older, a little bit younger that know exactly what you mean by Rico Suave. So big hit back in 1991, I believe. 19, yeah.
Yep.
19, yeah. Gerardo was his name. I remember when that was a big hit. People thought he was like the second coming of Vanilla Ice or somebody. And then 2 months later, nobody knew who he was. So,
yep, you're spot on. But then, you had me and my friend stumbling upon it in 4th grade on YouTube and saying, "Oh, that'd be a great addition to your name, Biko." And
nice.
Still the Twitter name.
Oh, Gerardo, see what you've done. You gave somebody a Twitter handle. Well, it's a good thing you didn't find any CNC Music Factory videos to help you out with that. So anyway, all right, Biko, I'll let you get going. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming on here, and hopefully we'll see you out there in the United States this year.
Appreciate it, Mark. This has been a blast. We'll do it again, man, and we'll see you in Indianapolis, if not anywhere else on the tour.
All right, we'll see you in Indy, and that's June 30th. All right, take care.
See you, man.
All right, that was Biko Skalla. Biko Skalla. You can find him at Biko Rico Suave. I'm not going to play that. I'm not giving that guy any residuals. I don't know if you remember the old SNL skit from maybe 2000 when Horatio Sands comes in to this court hearing for Napster, if you don't know what Napster is, it is back in the day when we had to, go online to download free music. It was Napster, and then Metallica sued them, and it led to what we have now in streaming. If you want to be real, you could also look it up on YouTube. I'm sure there's like 20,000 videos about it. So anyway, it was this court hearing with like one-hit wonders coming into the courtroom wanting residuals for money that Napster is supposedly stealing. And one of them was Rico Suave, was Horatio Sands dressed up as Gerardo. And the judges are like, hey, man, you let yourself go. And he's like, chocolate, donuts. And then, of course, Conan O'Brien is played Right Said Fred. He keeps coming back in different characters, and one of them he was dressed as a beekeeper, and they're like, who are you? I'm the beekeeper from the Village People. If you can find it online, it is just I find it funny. And of course, Tracy Morgan's in there as the guy from Cameo, and Jimmy Fallon is in there doing one of the lead singers from the Pet Shop Boys, and then Rachel Dranch is doing Tony Basil, and there's a David Lee Roth impersonation from Chris Kattan, which could have been a little bit better. But yeah, that's kind of what I think of Rico Suave now. So it's things like that. But I should have told Biko it's a good thing he didn't find some old Color Me Bad videos. Ooh, it's a super sucker, Beavis. All right, Banana Ball coming to Indianapolis June 30th, Victory Field. It's also coming to these cities. If we can get them on the screen, well, we'll show you where they're coming. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait for it. It's with baseball, you want to make things exciting, and you got me who goes to a lot of baseball games, and I'm like, yeah, bring it on. I want to see this. I want to see what's happening. So let's look at some of the cities they're coming to. I guess we could have the world tour in a world. So they're coming to Daytona, they're coming to Nashville, they are coming to Indianapolis, Milwaukee. They're coming to a lot of different places. All right, that was Biko Skalla from the Savannah Bananas. What a great interview. I don't know about you, but I love when you get very energetic people of all ages. And I've talked to people of all ages, and, I try to let them do their talking, and hopefully they give you something to listen to. But if you're interested in checking out the Bananas this year, here are some of the places they'll be. I think they're starting in February of 2023 at West Palm Beach on the 17th. And they'll be in Jacksonville. They'll be in Daytona. And let's look to the nitty gritty here. They're going to also be in Sugarland, Texas on March 17th. That's going to be at Constellation Field, which nice little stadium there. Montgomery, Alabama, Scottsdale, Arizona, Peoria, Arizona that month. But let's get to June when they start going everywhere. And if you want to check out the schedule, go to thesavannahbananas.com. Check out their schedule. They'll tell you. But then, once they start hitting June and the weather's nicer up here in the Midwest and in the northern states, Tulsa, Nashville, Birmingham, Indianapolis, those are Birmingham's nice throughout the year. So they're going to be at Rickwood Field too, which is the oldest ballpark in the country, or in the world. Akron, Kannapolis, Durham, Rancho Cucamonga for 2 dates on the 21st and 22nd of July. They're also going to be in San Jose, California, Fresno, California, and Sacramento. So check out this schedule. I can tell you all the dates, but it'd take up a lot of time and you probably get bored. So check out the Savannah Bananas. You know what else you can check out? You can check out Ballpark Hunter on YouTube. Some great videos up there. I have a 5-7 minute video from the Guaranteed Rate Field game I took in a few months ago. I also have Purdue football coming up. I think maybe today or next week. Purdue football, because it's college football season. So you'll be seeing me at non-ballparks in places like that. Hockey arenas, basketball arenas. I don't know where I'm going to go yet. Just depends on the scheduling And you may even see some kind of high school sporting events as well on there. So check out Ballpark Hunter on YouTube. You can also check out my articles on Stadium Journey. Stadium Journey, the industry's leader in sports stadium reviews. We have everything covered from the NFL to cricket. We also have a new website design coming. It's going to knock your socks off. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be thrilled. You're going to be like, they are the Savannah Bananas of stadium reviews. Well, not yet, but maybe we'll get there. Who knows? And then you can also follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on TikTok. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me at Facebook at Mark Fiquez. I don't have a Facebook page for Ballpark Hunter yet. And you can also check me out on Tucker Carlson tonight. I am going to go ramble for about 30 minutes, and it's going to be broken up into 2 segments. And I'm just going to speak my mind about everything. And hopefully Tucker will just kind of, look at me and go, oh, ooh, ah, ooh, So, yeah, be a lot of fun. And I'll also do it for Rachel Maddow on CNN too. I'll just go out there and just spew nonsense for 30 minutes and have people believe in everything I tell them. So that's it, guys. I hope you had fun listening to me. I hope you had fun. Actually, I hope you didn't. I could care less if you had fun listening to me. I hope you had fun listening to Biko. This kid is living in Soho, working for the Savannah Bananas. He's got a girlfriend. Did he say girlfriend or fiance? That's going to be a lawyer, or did she say law student? Yeah, he's got a nice little life there. I'm a little bit jealous. No, I'm not. I got a nice wife and a beautiful home and 401k and a pension plan, and I get to go to ballparks and make videos about them. Just wait until I get retired. I'll go to all sorts of places. So anyway, Mark Fiquez, Ballpark Hunter. We will see you next time. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Zach Beeson, thank you for listening as well. Maybe I'll have you on here one day, but you got to tone down the negative comments about the New York Mets. I don't like it and I don't appreciate it. But give me a few days. I'll get over it. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Adios.